Hello everyone, this is Abhilasha Trivedi with my weekly podcast, Knowing Universe. And very warm welcome to my podcast. Warm welcome because the topic today is hot and cold. Hot and cold, where? In the space. Of course, we talk about space, universe, right? Every time. So this is what we are going to understand a little more about that. And really thankful for all your feedbacks and listening to me and encouraging me as usual. Please keep doing that. Please keep doing that. Thank you so much again. And let's begin today. Today we are going to understand what exactly is the temperature. So temperature, let's see that, some part of the world, actually a very small part of the world, use a suffix called Fahrenheit before you put a number. Like let's say 40 degrees, 40 degrees Fahrenheit, and rest of the world says 40 degrees Celsius. Okay, I'm also going to talk about in terms of degrees Celsius, Fahrenheit. But Fahrenheit and degrees Celsius, instead of going in a lot of detail that what is the difference and how you can calculate, there is a method to do that. Of course there is. You can Google it, you'll get the answer. But what I'm going to tell you, the same number in Fahrenheit is going to be colder, and the same number in degrees Celsius is definitely much hotter. Like, for example, 40 degree Fahrenheit, it's really cold. It's really cold. At 40 degrees Celsius, it's hot. You are sweating hot. It's very hot. So that's the difference. I just want to say that. Now, the measurement of the particles which move around us is called as temperature. Okay, and whenever we talk about movement of particles, that means those particles will be having kinetic energy, whether it is water or air, whatever. Yeah, and that is a very important thing to understand, that how the temperature is there, why the temperature is there in space, or it's not there. So if I just ask you, come with an open mind, don't think, I really hope that you don't know whether the space is cold or hot. Okay, just think, what makes more sense, that the space is cold or space is hot? Sun is there, right? Sun warms us. Yeah, so why not there is like this, the space should be really hot, and maybe we are wearing the spacesuit to keep us cool. How does that sound? Yeah, don't you agree with me? I would agree with me. Actually, that's not correct. Yeah, but at the same time, it is not really that cold. I mean, the space is cold because there is none of the heat transfer method is possible. Okay, that's why it's not cold. When you are touching your hot cup of coffee, that is conduction. Okay, when you are feeling the cool breeze on your face on the sea beach, that's convection. And if something is really hot in front of you, you're not really, radiator maybe, it is a radiation. Okay, sun transfers its heat with a radiation. So when the sun is transferring heat through space, it's all vacuum. There is no particle, none at all. So that's why there is no heat in space. It reaches to us because we have a really nice mixture of different types of gases, and they create an environment, an atmosphere literally, where we can receive the heat. Okay, but nothing like that in space. So space is pretty cold. Now, how cold it is, I will just say, very cold. It's like minus 270 degrees. Okay, 272 degrees something Celsius, not Fahrenheit. It will be even bigger number in Fahrenheit. So there is no particle in space, so there is no method of heat transfer is possible, even though we have sun. So that makes a point that stars, sun is a star, so other stars are also having that kind of fusion process going on. So wherever those heat transfer is possible, there will be heat. But if there is no air particles, nothing whatsoever, there will be nothing, right? So exactly how much hot is in the different parts of the space, we cannot really measure, Because there is no particle. So there is no particle, so there is no movement of the particle. Obviously, if you are not there, how can I see you there? It's something like that. So we cannot measure, we cannot say that what's the temperature. Interesting. Did you know this, that if we are in space wearing a really nice, high-end spacesuit, which is really costly, by the way, which is not, it doesn't look that fancy, but it's very costly for some reasons which are very valid. So that suit actually keeps us safe because we humans are very fragile. Okay, even though after a lot of workout, I don't think that it helps a lot if we have to go to space, So we are very fragile because we need only, few degrees Celsius temperature we can tolerate, and a very few range of pressure to tolerate. So, for example, like, if the temperature goes from 25 to, let's say, 55, all our body function will stop. It is because, the enzymes in our body, they will just not work. Yeah, it's not a good condition at all. And even the pressure is even worse. Since there is no particle, there is no pressure. Makes sense, isn't it? So, if you are in space, the danger, the bigger threat is what? The temperature or the pressure? I'm afraid it's the pressure which can kill us before than the temperature. It will be a very ugly situation. In the movies and all, you see that, the person got frigid and they became very cold and cold and cold, colder and cold and done. But actually the situation will be uglier because, because of the low pressure, the veins and every water molecule in our body will start evaporating. Oh my God. And then it will cause embolism and it will start evaporating. So it's not cute picture at all. So I'll just stop painting it right now. Sorry about that if it hurt your feelings. So we have to be very careful with our costume in space. And I think we understand that temperature is actually cold, but not very cold. And temperature is not the bigger reason for our existence in space. It is because the pressure is more important. Pressure plays more important, and both have the same reason as in the particles. The particles are not there, so there is no method of heat transfer possible, and because of no particles, it's vacuum. It's quiet. We cannot hear each other if we are not connected through some walkie-talkie or something. But we are humans. We are just the statue of encouragement, like the bravery. I would say, we are the statue of bravery. We are, every time we are working on our strengths and we are moving on. Who knows what will happen tomorrow? Do you know? I don't know. I am very hopeful we'll find something better and better, right? So this is what the temperature explains you, and I can explain you as of today that it's cold. And if you go closer to other stars, because of the fusion process, and fusion releases a lot of heat energy, it will be hot, but it cannot be, yes, you got that right, transferred. So space is where the heat cannot be transferred, so heat cannot be felt. We cannot sense it. But whatever we sense it, if you have a question in which category we will keep it, it will be cold. Yes, it will be cold. So that was the end of today's podcast, Hot and Cold. Please reach out to me, write me regularly on abhilashapodcast@gmail.com. Beyond Guru, keep learning by that. Beyond Guru, have fun. Thank you so much, and come back next week. Bye.